We now cut across to breaking news coming in on the protest that is being staged and stone pelting that took place after Friday press with banners and slogans of I love Muhammad. This happened in UP's Bareilly. We are also trying to get pictures of how exactly the situation escalated. But this is the initial information just coming in. Slogans were raised, banners were displayed of I love Muhammad. This happened in UP's Bareilly. That were followed by protests and stone pelting after the Friday press. Take a look.
मैंने इसी चक्कर में पहले निकाल दिया कि आप चले जाओ यहाँ से क्योंकि वो नॉन मुस्लिम है। मैंने कहा कोई बात होगी तो आप परेशान हो जाओगे। मैं तो यहाँ पे मुसलमान हूँ, चलो एक दफ़ा को मेरा घर पीछे है, मैं आराम से चला जाऊँगा। और वो दूर के थे इसलिए मैंने उन्हें भेज दिया।
नहीं बता रहे हैं कि पुलिस समझा रही थी काफी देर से, लेकिन नमाज के बाद लोग हट नहीं रहे।
मैं तो अपनी क्लिनिक पे था, आगे प्रदर्शन हो रहा है उससे मुझे कोई मतलब नहीं, लेकिन मेरा नुकसान क्यों कर रहा है ये मैं जानना चाहता हूँ। बस
इनका नुकसान हो गया है, आपने देखा, इनका कहना है कि नुकसान हो गया, लेकिन लाठी चार्ज में पब्लिक दौड़ी और पुलिस के सामने सीमित विकल्प थे। मैं कृष्ण गोपाल राज, आज तक।
All right, that latest reaction and ground report giving a sense of the kind of damage that has been caused as part of this protest in several of those shops that were also attacked. The shopkeeper putting out his version of how the situation escalated, and there you see the situation that turned rather unruly after protests that escalated. Now this happened after Friday prayers is the information we've just received. There were banners and slogans of I love Muhammad. Now, our reporter clearly indicating of how the cops had warned for people to move after the Friday press, and the version coming in of how they may not have moved. Of course, we are trying to confirm all this information, but those pictures certainly giving you a sense of the kind of damage that was caused in these protests, and some of these shopkeepers who were also hurt as collateral damage. On this side, shops were vandalized. And there you see how the protests escalated. Heavy police deployment on the ground. Some of these videos that were captured. And the police asking the crowds to stay under control, especially clearing the space after the Friday press. And those crowds that refused to move. Samarth is joining us with further details of what exactly transpired during these protests. Is it that the cops had asked these people to move, they did not move? How did it escalate?
Well, exactly. I must tell you that the incident is concerned a protest that happened after the Friday prayers in Bareilly. Maulana Taqi Raza had announced protest concerning the I Love Muhammad controversy. Initially, Maulana Taqi Raza withdrew his protest after being persuaded by the police administration. However, just a few hours before the Friday prayers, Maulana Taqi Raza suddenly announced the protest again. The protesters began advancing, breaking through the barricades set up by the police. Later, seeing the violent crowd breaking the barricades and moving into other parts of the city, the police resorted to a lathi charge. Currently, SSP Bareilly and ADG Bareilly Ramit Sharma are present at the location. Maulana Taqi Raza had appealed to the people to gather at Islamia Maidan. The protest was taking place without permission. The police used a lathi charge when the crowd began to advance, breaking the barricades. Back to you.
Tell us further what happened, Samarth. These crowds broke the barricades and they moved past where the police had marked the boundary. Also coming in of how certain shopkeepers were attacked and many of those shops were vandalized. What had happened?
Exactly. What we are getting from the bites that shopkeepers were also attacked by the unruly mob right over there, which were protesting there. But later, what we saw in the visuals clearly that police had to resort to the lathi charge to ensure that the public must remain away from the protest side. And that's why the situation happened. Though as per the reports, the situation is under control as of now, and the police is advancing also to the different locations from there. Back to you.
Samarth, they're getting us all the details. Samarth, I also want to understand from you over how long all of this lasted. What time were the Friday prayers taking place, after which the police had been warning all these people to clear, but that allegedly did not happen, after which the police took action. What was the timeline like?
Well, as per the report, the time was after the Friday prayers when this thing happened. Because earlier it was said, that they will not be, that they will not be doing that particular protest. But later, what we saw, that the protest happened suddenly, and a mob clearly started, which
All
went
right.
quite out of control.
Samarth, your network is clearly fluctuating and we'll try and reconnect that line with you. But Samarth there getting us the initial details of how the situation turned unruly after the Friday press, and the pictures speaking for themselves of how the police had warned all these people to clear this entire area. That did not happen, after which the police took matters into its hands and had to resort to lathi charge to clear these crowds. But the crowd kept on advancing, broke the barricades and the boundaries that had been drawn by the cops. Such was the escalation that many of these in the mob went on to vandalize the shops nearby. Also, some of those shopkeepers who were attacked, and damage to property that was caused by those in the mob. There you see complete chaos on the ground, and how the situation literally turned from bad to worse within a matter of minutes, as the cops warning all these people to clear that entire area. But as is being alleged, that no heed was paid to the clear announcement made by the cops, after which they had to intervene and resort to lathi charge. Samarth is back with us. Samarth, wanting details from you on how exactly this escalated, because the pictures pretty much suggesting that the police resorted to lathi charge and asked all of them to clear from this very area. It was a big crowd that had gathered, and all of this happening after the Friday prayers.
Well, exactly. If you see the series, this hasn't happened in just one district, because we saw the posters of I Love Muhammad and such protests happened, and it all started from the Bara Wafat in the Kanpur district, which later moved to the different states of India as well. But what actually happened in Bareilly is quite worrisome, because Maulana Taqir Raza firstly had a chat with the administration and the police team right over there and convinced them that there will be no protest at all regarding all of these things. Though they could have erected the posters of I Love Muhammad peacefully, and then police did not have to do anything regarding that particular thing. But when it was said that after that Friday namaz, it was decided that the protest will not happen. But suddenly, Maulana Taqir Raza made another announcement that yes, the protest will happen with the placards of I Love Muhammad right over there. And suddenly the protest started happening. Though police was gathered at that particular place before, because they had information from the LIU that such protests might happen after the Friday prayers in Bareilly, because Bareilly, that particular area has already been quite sensitive regarding all these things. But when this particular protest happened, police had to resort to the lathi charge, because situation went out of control. The protesters started moving across the police barricades, because police had erected some barricades to ensure that mob could not move to another place or to some other areas. But when the police team saw that the mob continued to stay violent, then they had to resort to lathi charge to disperse the public out here, to disperse the protesters out here who had the posters of I Love Muhammad in their hands. Though it's not the story of just Bareilly, many such protests have happened even in Lucknow, Agra and many other districts. This is all the series which started from Kanpur and later moved to the different districts of Uttar Pradesh. And also we saw how our Mahadev posters came from Varanasi in reply to this particular posters of I Love Muhammad. But if you talk about Bareilly, the SSP of Bareilly, the DM of Bareilly have reached to the spot, though many shopkeepers are claiming that the protesters tried to, in a way, destroy their shops there. Some also complain of some stolen things right over there, though the police teams have reached at the spot. And as for the SSP, currently the situation is under control, and those who are involved in this particular thing will be identified via CCTV footages, and a strict action will be taken against all of them. Back to you.